Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so good to see everybody on this beautiful Shabbat morning and to join together. I'm going to invite you, if you have a cell phone or anything that makes noise, go ahead and turn it off. As I like to say, let's disconnect in order to connect with each other. But we are connecting, though, with some loved ones who are not able to be here with us. So we have Grandma Janet Kelly. Hello, Grandma Janet Kelly. Good to see you. So she's connecting with us via streaming. And all the way in India, what time is it in India right now? Nighttime. 12 and a half hours. Not even like on the hour. 12 and a half hours. There we go. We got Aunt Tova Apollo and cousin Narayan. Narayan. There we go. So we're going to also, everybody turn around, face that camera over there. Say Shabbat Shalom. There we go. I love it. The baby's getting into the action as well. This is awesome. All right. See, that's the goal. So right there, that's the only electronics we're going to do over there. Otherwise, we're going to disconnect ourselves so we can be connected in here and just be totally present. Now, in order to be present, we're going to kind of center ourselves, let go of everything else from the rest of the week, and let's begin with some singing. Let's warm up our voices. So, Peter, please.
We join in a song known as a nigun. This is a melody that has no words, so we can focus on warming up our mind, body, spirit, and our voice as we sing together with a smile. Please join in.
So now we've warmed up our voices. Let's help try to focus ourselves as to what we're doing here on this Shabbat morning. So this Shabbat morning, Shabbat is this wonderful gift that God gives to us. You see, we hear, we read, and we study the story of creation in the very beginning of the Torah, or the Bible, in which God worked 6 days and created the whole world, and then on the 7th day, God rested. So God tells us, you know what? You will work really hard for 6 days, and on the 7th day, you should rest. Let go of everything else. Take a break. If you keep going at such a heavy pace and such a frantic pace, eventually you'll burn out. You'll collapse from exhaustion. So take this as a day, as a gift to just relax, connect, and reconnect with yourself, with other people around you, your family, with God, and be able to find a way of being totally present. Well, this day we call Shabbat, and that's what we're celebrating. So we began Shabbat last night on Friday evening. As with all Jewish holidays, they begin in the evening at sunset, and they go all the way until the next sunset. So Friday night to Saturday night we have Shabbat. And during that time we join together in worship and opportunities to connect with each other and connect with God. Today, this Shabbat morning service is wonderful, not only because of this wonderful gift of Shabbat, but also the gift of a young man. This wonderful young man, Jacob Apollo, who becomes a bar mitzvah. So today, he is going to lead us in our Shabbat worship. Now, this is not a performance. This is not this isn't a recital where he's going to get up here and perform for us. We're all going to participate along with him. And in order to do so, we need to kind of have a little bit of direction and lay of the land as to what we're doing together. So first of all, we all have our prayer books. All right, so you don't have your prayer books. All right, maybe I can get a couple of our youth. If you wouldn't mind going out and grabbing maybe a stack of prayer books. Oh, thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate that. Jacob and Stephen, thank you. They're going to go grab some prayer books for you. So if you don't have a prayer book, they'll get them to you all. So make sure. So Jacob's friends over here. Do you guys have prayer books? Do you have these? Yay! Fabulous. Okay. So now while they're getting those, I have a question for the 8 of you or the 7 of you back there. What do you notice about these books that's different than any other book you've seen before? Yes. They're backward. Okay. All right. Well, they look like they're backward because in English we open our books from left to right, but in this case, the primary language of Judaism is Hebrew, which means we read, instead of left to right, we read from right to left, which means that the prayer book is going to be opened the opposite direction. So, you all have that. Now, if you open up to any page in the prayer book, you will see that there is 2 columns. On the right-hand column are Hebrew letters, and on the left-hand column are English letters. But the English letters, if you were just to look at them and go, whoa, what's that saying there? The English letters are transliteration. Because we recognize not everybody's able to read from, to read Hebrew. So we create transliteration, which is taking English letters, sounding out the Hebrew words, so everybody can follow along. Now, Jacob's turn. Thank you. Hey, Noah. Come here, I got a gift for you. You go show this off to all of his friends. Okay, like that. So just walk up and down the aisle. So go for it. So you will notice as Noah comes around, Jacob's prayer book is special in the sense that there is no transliteration in it. Exactly, because Jacob has been studying Hebrew for many years. So he is able to read the Hebrew throughout the entire service. Oh, good. Now he's got the videographer back there. Awesome. Hold it up for Grandma and the aunts back there. No, turn around to the... There you go. Very good. Excellent. See, we're making sure everybody's included. So he is able to then read all of those Hebrew letters, and you can also see he's got lots. Thank you, Noah. He's got lots of great Post-its here because he is in charge of leading our worship, and so he has to tell us where we're at, which page we're on, and so forth. So Jacob's going to be leading us then in our prayers today. Now, we're going to join along in reading. There will be times where there's italics. That's your invitation to read along with us. We're going to be singing. If you don't know the words, that's okay. Lila works very well, so don't be shy. Sing out. It's good. Cantor will promise to keep us in on the right key. And then also you'll notice that we pray with our bodies as well. There will be times that we'll ask everyone to stand. Standing is a form of respect, as well as you'll see times that we'll bow, and when we bow in humble reverence before God. So you're going to see a whole bunch of things that happen today. Just kind of take it all in. Those of you who maybe have never been to a Shabbat morning service, just take it all in and just be present as much as you like, and even allow yourself moments to meditate a little bit for our own prayers, our own times to connect. We then also pray with what we wear. So we have a kippah. The kippah, or the yarmulke you might have heard, is that head covering of reminding us that God's presence is all around us. And then finally there's the talit, the prayer shawl, in which God commanded us to wear tzitzit, fringes, on the corners of our garments. Now, the talit is worn by men and women, and it's there to have us look on these fringes and to think about something very important. That thing that's really important to think about are the 613 commandments that God has given to us. So when we look at these fringes, we're reminded God gave to us a lot of mitzvot, a lot of commandments. Now, not all of these can be fulfilled today because the temple in Jerusalem no longer is there. But what we are commanded to do is to study all of these rules, to explore them, even to wrestle with them, and then to ask a very important question, which is, how do these rules, how do these laws, how do the stories from Torah, what do they mean for us in our lives today, in our world, in 2014, 2,000 years after they were first written down? So today, just as on a day when a young woman becomes a bat mitzvah, a daughter of the commandments, and receives her first talit, today, Jacob, come here, you as a bar mitzvah, a son of the commandments, today you stand here as a young adult in our community. And today, you are saying with all of us present that not only are you a part of the community, but you are a young adult who's taking on more of these responsibilities, and also you are somebody who is significant, who has a lot to say, who has a lot to share with all of us. So with that, you received your first talit on this Shabbat morning. And I want to invite your parents to come forward, Sarah and Joel, as they present you with your first talit. Amen. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, eternal soul of the universe, who makes us holy for the mitzvot and commands us in the wearing the fringes and corners of our garments. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. You may go ahead and have a seat right there. So, one of the things to note with the prayer books, please, is that we'll say, okay, we're now on page 112, and then you'll see that there's skips in the pages. So pay attention to the numbers on the bottoms of the pages, but pretty much we'll go page by page. But right now, we're going to start on page 112, which is right there at the very beginning. So I know your temptation is to go all the way to the end. It's right there at the very beginning. And we join in this wonderful blessing, Modeh, Moda Ani, in which we give thanks to God for all of our blessings, especially this amazing young man of Jacob.
Modeh Ani lefanecha, b'nechai b'kaynav, shehechezarta b'nishmati v'hemla, rabba emunatecha. Rabba emunatecha, Moda ani lefanecha, b'nechai b'kaynav, shehechezarta b'nishmati v'hemla, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha.
Page 117. These are the deeds which have no measure, which yield the fruit of their reward immediately and continue to bear fruit in time to come. Honoring parents, doing acts of loving kindness, attending the house of study daily, providing hospitality, visiting the sick, rejoicing with bride and groom, consoling the bereaved, praying with sincerity, and making peace where there is strife. And the study of Torah is greater than all of them, because it is the basis of them all. As we continue now on page 141, Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ימלא יברח שירותי, ימליך מלכותי. בחיי כל יום וכל בחיי כל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב במהרו.
Amen. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, מעולם עולם ועולמיה. יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח, יפעל ויתרומם ויתנשא, יתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה השם בקדושה. ברכו לאלה מנחה ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן מהלמה במהרו.
Amen. We rise now for the call to worship, page 143.
Baruchu et Adonai
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvrei hoshe, oseh shalom uvrei kol ha'me'ir la'aretz, v'la'arim aleha, v'rachamim uvtivo mechadesh, v'chol yom tamid, ma'aseh v'reshit, ma'rabu ma'aseh Adonai, kulam b'chochma, asita mala, ha'aretz kinyan necha. We continue on the bottom of page 146. Tiparach Adonai Eloheinu, al sheva me'aseh yadecha, ve'al moreh or she'asita yifaru selah.
Or chadash al Zion tahir, or chadash al Zion tahir, or chadash al Zion tahir, or chadash al Zion tahir. ונזכה כולנו במהרה לאורו. ונזכה כולנו במהרה לאורו. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, אור חדש על ציון תאיר.
Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'ma'orot. We praise you, Adonai, for the magnificence of your handiwork and for the shining lights which sing your praise, causing a new light to shine upon Zion. And may we soon mirror it to its vast and its glow.
We praise you, Adonai, creator of lights.
Please turn to page 150. Great has been your love for us, our eternal God. You have shown us great compassion, O sovereign God, for the sake of our ancestor who trusted in you, and to whom you taught the laws of life. Be gracious to us and instruct us. Source of mercy, have mercy upon us, and instill within our hearts the capacity to listen and comprehend, learn and teach, observe and uphold all the teachings of your Torah with love.
Enlighten us with your Torah, and help us to hold fast to your mitzvot. Inspire us to love and revere your name, so that we shall never be shamed. We place our trust in your great and awesome name. May we be glad and rejoice in your salvation, for you, O God, work great wonders. In love you have chosen us and drawn us near to you, to serve you faithfully and to proclaim your holiness.
Baruch atah Adonai, Chaver ba'amo, Yisrael ba'ahava.
We praise you, Adonai, who has chosen Israel to serve.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivon Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivon Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We continue chanting together the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta Adonai Elohecha b'chol v'cha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha. V'hayu ha'dvarim ha'ele asher Elohim mitzavecha hayom al vavecha. V'shinatam vanecha v'divarta bam v'shivtecha b'vitecha uvatecha v'aderet u'shopecha u'kumecha u'chertaleo b'yadecha v'hayu totafo b'einecha u'vtatam amzuzo b'techa u'yishalecha. Lemon tiskeru v'asitem ekomizutai v'idem kerosim vo'ehem. Ani Adonai Elohim asher tzidkitem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'yom lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohim. You shall love Adonai our God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be upon your heart. Teach them to those that you take children, and speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontals between your eyes. Write them upon the doorstones of your house upon your gates, that you may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. We continue reading together on page 165. True and enduring, for love and precious, awesome and good, beautiful and eternal teaching. This truth we hold to be forever certain. Adonai is sovereign God. Our God is the rock of Jacob, and our protecting shield. Adonai abides through all generations. God's name is eternal. God's throne stands firm. God's sovereignty and faithfulness are everlasting. The word of Adonai is good and pure. True and precious all eternity. Moshe uMiriam Ibnei Israel, B'cha'anu Shirah, B'shimcha Rabbah, Ve'omru Gum.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Kamo haba Adonai Kamo haneda bakodesh Nogate hilot osefele Nogate hilot osefele Shira shashi befugevni Neshimcha sifataya miyachad kulam modu ve'imrichu ve'ameru Adonai Yimlo le'olam va'ed Adonai Yimlo le'olam va'ed Ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Zu Yisrael Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael
Aleinu Adonai We praise you, Adonai, the Holy God.
We join together on page 179 as we sing Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashaman לעשות את השמן לגדולותם בעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השמן לעשות את השמן לגדולותם בעולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם תשמרו בני ישראל את השמן לעשות את השמן לגדולותם בעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לגדולותם בעולם ויום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לגדולותם בעולם.
Eloheinu, Elohei, Avotenu v'Imotenu, V'tzei na v'nuchatenu, Hachenu b'mitzvotecha, V'tein halkenu b'toratecha, Sabenu mituvecha, V'samchenu b'shuatecha, V'taher libenu lovdecha be'emet. V'hanilenu Adonai Eloheinu, V'ahava Ratzon Shabbat Kodecha V'yanuchu V'kol Yisrael Mekadeshe Shemecha Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
And
Please join Tanner in Yismechu on page 182.
Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Onei Shabbat Yismechu v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Onei Shabbat Mikdashi Shvi Shaman Kulam Yismeru V'yitamdu mitu v'hashaman Yismeru v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Onei Shabbat Yismeru v'malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei Onei Shabbat ובשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת חמדתי ימים אותו קראת שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת זכר למעשה רגשי שבת זכר למעשה ורגשי שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
Please rise. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'omecha Yisrael U'tfilatam Ba'ahava Tikabel U'thi B'ratzon Tamid Avodat Yisrael Amecha Yitechezena Einenu Yishuvcha U'tzion B'rachamim Baruch Atah Adonai Cham Hazir Shechinato L'Tzion. We praise you, Adonai.
You restored the divine presence to Zion.
Please turn to page 189. We gratefully acknowledge that you are our eternal God and the God of our ancestors. You are our rock, giving strength to our lives. You are our protecting shield.
In every generation we all thanks to you. We praise you. For our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, and for your daily miracles, your wonders and signs of your goodness are present at every moment, morning, noon, and night.
For all these things, you are forever blessed and exalted. O God, for all the lives now live, give thanks to you. May Allah eternally praise and bless your great name in truth. For you are the source of goodness, the wonders of salvation and our help.
We praise you, Adonai, whose name is goodness, and to whom it is fitting to give thanks. As we join together, page 191, please join with us in singing Sing Shalom. Sing Shalom, Torah Uracha, Eina Chesed Berachamim Berachamim Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Ha'amim.
Bareinu Avinu Kunakeha Be'od Panecha Ki be'od Panecha Natzat Lanu Adonai Eloheinu Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom Tova U'Rahma Teva Chesed Verachamim Verachamim Aleinu Ve'Yamto Yisrael Ve'Yamto Yisrael Ve'Yachol Ha'amim Torah Chayim Ve'Ahavat Chesed Ve'Ahavat Chesed Tzedakah U'Racha Ve'Rachamim Ve'Chayim Ve'Shalom Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom Tova U'Rahma Teva Chesed Ve'Rachamim Ve'Rachamim Aleinu Ve'Yachol Yisrael Ve'Yachol Yisrael Ve'Yachol Ha'amim V'tov Einecha Levarech את עמך ישראל, ואת כל העמים, וכל עת, ובכל שעה, בשלום בך. שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, אין בה חסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו, ויעקב ישראל. Ya'akov Yisrael ve'Ya'akov ha'amim Baruch atah Adonai Osei HaShalom.
Their peace, goodwill, and blessing, light of grace and loving kindness, to us and all Israel, and to all the world. Bless us all with the light of your presence, O eternal God, for we are light, and have given us Torah and light, love and faithfulness, justice and compassion, blessing and peace. May be good in your sight, bless us, bless all Israel, and all the world in great peace. Praise you, Adonai, the source of peace.
Please be seated and continue with silent meditation.
רצון נמלפי נמלפי והגיון ליבי לפניך יהיו לרצון נמלפי נמלפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, V'go'ali. Yihiyu niratzon, nirlefi, nirlefi, V'hyon libi lefanecha. Yihiyu niratzon, nirlefi, nirlefi, V'hyon libi lefanecha. Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, V'go'ali. Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, Adonai Tsuri, V'go'ali.
is at this time in our service that we turn to Seder Kriyat HaTorah, which is the service for our reading of Torah. Now we mentioned Torah a little bit at the beginning of our service and kind of framing what we do and why and so forth about all the mitzvot. But this is the time in which we take our Torah from the Ark, and the Torah it contains the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, all contained on one scroll. And what is so magnificent about those scrolls, all the scrolls of Torah, is that they're all the same. They're all the same in that each of them have the exact same words written in them. Each of them have the exact same stories, chapters, verse, and so forth. But they're also each unique, because every Torah scroll is handwritten by a scribe. A person sits down and copies it word for word, letter for letter, as it's always been written down for over 2,000 years. So even though today the Torah scroll that we are using is about 10 years old, it's like you're looking back through a lens that's 2,000 years old. Because the way that the Torah has been written today, it's the same way it's been written for generation to generation. It contains within it the stories of our people. It contains in it the mitzvot, the commandments that we are commanded to study and explore and to live by. It truly is this beautiful window into the past, but especially even into the future. Because what we do with Torah is we not only have it, we not only hold on to it, but we read from it, we study it, we wrestle with it. We don't just read the words and say, okay, we're done reading the words and that's all we have to do. No, we have to ask a very important question. What do these words that have been passed on for so many generations, what do they mean in our lives today? How do we find deeper meaning in them to make our lives better, to continue to grow? Today, the gift of being able to share that insight, the gift of being able to teach us belongs to our bar mitzvah, to Jacob. Today, my friend, you are not only a student of Torah, but today especially, you are our teacher. That is part of the responsibility of becoming a bar mitzvah. Part of the responsibility of being a young man in the community is to stand here and to teach us. But then we have a responsibility as well. Our responsibility is to learn from you. Our responsibility is to take the words that you are wrestling with and to learn from them and ask our own questions and explore them with you. And actually, it's truly a gift. So we begin with our service for our reading of Torah on page 201.
אין כמוך ואלוהים, אדוני, ואין כמעשיך, מלכותך מלכות עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז עמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
Throughout our Torah service, we will be sharing the Bima and sharing some wonderful honors with family members and friends. And so throughout, we'll be calling them forward to join with us. And also, we're reminded that Torah belongs not just to the leaders, that Torah doesn't just belong to all of us up here, it belongs to each and every single person. So one of the things that you'll see in a few moments is when we take the Torah out of the ark, then Jacob will walk with the Torah through the congregation here, and it's a reminder of something very important. One, we don't worship Torah. Even though you'll see people who will take their prayer books or their tzitzit from their talitot and reach out and touch and kiss, that is a sign of respect, of showing respect. It's not worshiping Torah. But when we do that hakafa, the reason why we march through the congregation with the Torah scroll is very symbolic and important. It's to remind us that the Torah belongs to each and every one of us. It's not just my responsibility or Cantor's responsibility or Jacob's responsibility to study Torah. all of our responsibility to study Torah. So, to begin and to participate in this beautiful Torah service, I'd like to invite forward, because Torah is passed from generation to generation, Jacob, Sarah, and Joel. If the three of you will please go ahead and you can leave your prayer books there. Go ahead and come around and come down right here, so you can walk around. And come right and stand in the front here. We're going to put Jacob all the way on the end here, followed by Joel and then Sarah, and then next to them we're going to invite forward Robert Kelly, Al Gravitz, and Stan Apollo. There we go, to come and join them right here. So leave your prayer books also, because we're going to pass Torah from one generation to the next. And Torah is dressed in all of its finery, so we're going to invite to have seated right there. They're almost all right there in the front row. Noah Apollo, Aaron Gravitz, Nathan Gravitz, and Aaliyah Reed. You guys are going to stay right there in the middle. We're just going to let Aaliyah come up there and join you guys. There you go. Perfect. And I'd like to invite forward at this time Bud Charlick. If you will please come forward with the honor of opening our ark doors. Come right up the stairs right over here. Come join us here. Excellent. Thank you. As we continue in the middle of page 202, and I invite everyone to please rise.
Adonai hagidula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'aron ki kol v'shamayim u'ma'aretz ki kol v'shamayim u'ma'aretz Adonai Hamamcha Mehamit Nasir Lekorosh Ashlosha Devarim Ashlosha Devarim Ashlosha Devarim Haolam Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim.
Please be seated. So you don't love the background. It's pretty back there. Perfect. So it's getting into the rhythm of new space and so forth. And of course, I'm up here and make sure I have my sheets here, all of our wonderful honors for this morning. But I want to take a moment for those of you who have never seen a Torah up close. If you'd like to come up, or maybe you have, but it's been a while, feel free to come on up and we'll give you a quick tour of the Torah. Well, don't be shy. So you guys can come up here, you can go down here, everyone. Come down and go. Don't be shy. You go onto the top of it. Perfect. Put it nice and right. Okay. You hold on right there. Perfect. Come down. Come all the way around. Come around back here too. There you go. A little over. Up all the way in. Perfect. Okay. So a Torah is handwritten. So a scribe will sit down and, as I mentioned earlier, will copy the Torah from either another Torah or what's called a book called a tikkun, where it's written down the exact same way. So one of the first rules to know is that we're not going to touch where the writing is, because everything is handmade with the Torah. The parchment comes from a kosher animal. Kosher animal has split hooves and chews its cut. Then with the parchment, the ink is also naturally made. It takes a year to make the ink. It's a whole process of boiling the ink and letting it cool and boil and letting it cool. What makes the letter shiny, by the way, is one very special ingredient. Maybe if I can hand you a quick ingredient it might be. Huh? Think about something sweet, and anybody who's been a feather knows that when you start reading and start learning Hebrew, you put something on a page, you go ahead and you trace it with your fingers, and then you lick it. It's really yummy. Yes. Honey, very good. Excellent. So it's actually, there's a little bit of honey that's in it, and that's actually what makes the letter shine. Now, the reason why we don't want to touch with our fingers is because the natural oils in our fingers, if it mixes with that, eventually it'll break down the ink, and we don't want to do that. Torah can last hundreds of years as long as we take good care of it. And so things will do this. Well, it happens about 10 years or so. Now, if you guys look very closely at it, you will see on the parchment, see here, there are lines that are etched into this, scratched into the parchment there, and that gives the scribe the direction as to where to write the letters. Now, look very closely. Are the letters sitting on the lines or hanging? They're hanging. Now, we're used to writing, and our letters sit on the line. But here, the way the Torah is written is that the letters are actually hanging on the lines as opposed to sitting on them. And also, they're perfectly justified. See, you gotta remember, somebody sat down and wrote this. Oh, by the way, with a quill, with a feather, and hand wrote this whole thing. That takes a little over a year, or less than a year, depends on how fast the scribe is in writing the Hebrew letters. Now, you guys are seeing something really cool that we only get to see a few times in the Torah, which is right here. There's a gap. There's a gap here of 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Sometimes it's 5. That tells us this is the only time that we can actually tell when it's a new book. So this is the beginning of the book of Numbers, of in the Torah. So all of this, these are all consonants. Now if I was to give all of you something to read in English, you would be able to read it without any vowels. Why? Why would you be able to read it? You know English, right? There you go. You know the language, so your mind, your brain, will decipher what the words are. So if you think about it, if you know the language, you don't have to have the vowels. But there was a time in our history when the Jews were dispersed all to different countries, started speaking different languages. Hebrew was no longer the main language of the Jewish people, and so they needed to add a vowel system to it in order to know what the words really were. Because if I change the vowel of a word, if I change the vowels, I can change the whole meaning of it. Now, one of the rules of Torah, and lots of rules of Torah, but one of them is that you're not allowed to take anything away from it, and you're not allowed to add anything to it. So we're not allowed to add the vowels to it. Nobody's allowed to come up to as many of the B'nai Mitzvah students would love to. You're not allowed to bring up a pencil and start putting the little marks in there for the vowels. But what we do is we have next to us, and we'll have a piece of paper or a book that will have the words with the vowels, and we'll have somebody who will watch. It's called a guide, as the person is reading from Torah to make sure that we do it correctly. One other interesting thing about it, so the scribe has to sit down and handwrite this whole thing, and what the scribe will do is if the scribe makes a mistake, he or she will go ahead and try to scrape off the letter and then rewrite it. And if they're not able to do that, they'll try to correct it. If they're not sure there's a mistake, they will actually ask a child who's learned how to read Hebrew to come and read it. If the child reads it correctly, you're okay. If the child reads it incorrectly, you're in trouble. And the scribe is not able to fix the letter or fix that word. What do you think he has to do? He has to start over. Not the entire Torah scroll, fortunately, just that piece of parchment. So in this case, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 columns of Hebrew. Could you imagine if you're all the way here at the last word you make a mistake and you can't correct it? Has to take it out, start all over again on that piece of parchment that put that thing together. All right, so there you go. So this is a Torah scroll. Any questions? No, you got it? Okay, there'll be a test afterward. It's Shabbat. Here's the test. Thank you guys so very much. Who wants to speak first? No? Okay, we'll let you go back to your seat. We'll take it. Thank you guys so very much. Thank you. I'm going to grab that here. All right. So we are reading from the Torah portion and the book, the Mitzvah. And we have a lot of wonderful people who are going to participate in this reading. Now, one of the things, I should show you guys what I was holding it, is also that since I can't touch the letters with my fingers, or I shouldn't, I should say. What I want to do is, in order to keep my place, I use what's called a yad. And yad in Hebrew means hand. It's one time you're allowed to actually point. There you go. And so there's a little hand on the end here, and you follow along with that to keep your place. And also, our Torah is dressed as the priests were dressed during temple times. Beautiful garment, the chest part, the breastplate, also the crowns, and also a good sash, because you should always have a sash with Torah. And Jacob made this sash for our Torah binder. There you go. This is Jacob's piece of artwork. Very proud of it. It's really nice. Thank you very much. So, it's always on it, it's good. But I appreciate that. So the binder here, what's great is that it's a piece of Jacob that is wrapping our Torah. So we're very grateful. All right, so let us begin with our first reading of Torah. And by inviting our parents on the bar mitzvah, Joel and Sarah, Yoel and Simcha, Mikova, Sarah, and Abraham, and Malka, who made over here on the side. Reading our English translation, Al Gravitz, Abraham, Ben Shaul, Hadassah. For our second aliyah, I'd like to call forward for the bracha, Sylvia Kalakan, Abat Simcha Tova, Michael Cross, David Ben Abraham Sarah, Helene Cross, Hensha Naftala, Abat Simcha Tova, and reading the English translation, stand Apollo Simcha Ben Moshe Ben Hensha.
and the sun shall go in and take down the spring curtain, until the ark of the covenant with they shall put the covenant, balsam seed over it, and the spread cloth of pure blue over it. Then they shall put its poles in place. Move the table of the sleigh, they shall spread the blue cloth. They shall place it on the dishes, and the skins, and the bowls, and the liberation jar, as well as the bread. They shall spread on these the cloth of scarlet, and cover the covering with balsam seed, which they shall place on
Amen. Great job. You like that? How many you read a guitar portion next? That's fine. You do it. Okay.
For our third chanting the blessing, George Slechet, Yosef ben Aliyah, Tamara Bela, reading from the Torah, Rabbi Cohen, and reading the English translation, Ben Rabbitt, Benjamin ben Abraham, ben Malka.
Baruch Adonai Hamorot Milamed. Amen. ולקחו בגד וחלק וכיסו את מנורות המאור ואת מרתך ואת מלקחיך ואת מקורתך ואת כל כלי שמונה אשר ישרתו לה בהם. ונתנו אותה ואת כל כליה אל מקצה אור תקש ונתנו על המות ועל מזבח הזהב יפרשו בגד כחל וכיסו אותו במקצה אור תקש ושמעו את בגד ולקחו את כל כלי השרת אשר ישרתו בם בקודש ונתנו אל בגד תכלת וכיסו אותם במקצה אור תקש ונתנו על המות ודשנו את המזבח ופרשו עליו בגד ארגמן. So, Joel and Sarah, I'd like the two of you to come on over here because you don't want to miss this. Because this is a wonderful part. Absolutely, this is first. So, it is our honor now to call forward our bar mitzvah. Ya'amud v'tabakor bar mitzvah. Yaakov ben Yoel v'Sarah. Likro b'Torah. Hey, how are you? All right, my friends. So, take your two seats, please. First word by Yaveh. Amen. Amen. Yasher Mazel Tov. Yay. All right, my friend, I'm going to invite forward Gary Sachs, who is our Torah holder. He will go and have a seat over by where Cantor was seated. And I'd like to invite Noah and Aaron, Nathan, and Aaliyah. The four of you will come forward with the Torah ornaments there. And we'll now have an opportunity for everybody to see what was read. And I invite everyone to please rise as we give honor to the Torah.
The Haftorah for Parshat Bamidbar is Hosea chapter 2, verses 16 through 22. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nbiim tovim v'ratzah v'divrei ונאמרים באמת ברוך אתה אדוני חלפי תורה ובמשה עבדו בישראל עמו ובנביאי האמת והצדק. לכן הנה אנוכי מפתח וחולתיה במדבר ודיברתי במדבר ונתתי לה את ירמיה משם ואת עמק אחור לפתח תקווה ואנתה שמה כימי מאיריה וקיום עלותה בארץ מצרים והיה ויאמרו נאמן אדוני תקראי איסי ולא תקראי לי עלי והסירותי את שמו הבלים מפיה ולא ידברו בשמם זכרתי להם ברית ויאמרו ביד השדה ועוף השמיים ורמס האדמה בקשת וחרב ומלחמה אשבור מן הארץ והשכבתי לבטח ורבטיח לי לעולם ורבטיח לי בצדק ובמשה ובחסד וברחמים רבטיח לי באמונה וידע Adonai. Swiftly I will speak coaxingly to her and lead her through the wilderness and speak to her tenderly. I will give her her vineyards from there, in the valley of Akor as a plowland of hope. There shall be respond as in the days of her youth. Whence he came up from the land of Egypt, and in that day declared Adonai, you will call me Ishi, and no more will you call me Baali, for I will remove the name of the Baalim from her mouth, and they shall never more be mentioned by name. In that day I will make a covenant from them with the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and the creeping things on the ground. I will also banish bow, sword, and war from the land. Thus I will let them lie down in safety, and I will establish you forever. I will establish you with righteousness and justice, and with goodness and mercy, and I will establish you with faithfulness, and you shall be devoted to Adonai. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol ha'derot ha'el ha'ne'eman omer v'oseh ha'medaber u'mekayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek ha'torah ve'ha'avodah ve'ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו בקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת. הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמה לפי כל תמיד לעולם ועד. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Mazel tov. There. So we take a moment now during our Torah service to offer up blessings for healing for all of those who are in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. We think about our friends and family members as we offer this blessing on page 213. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak Yaakov Vimotenu Sarah Rivka Leah Rachel. Hu yivarech et hacholim hanizkarim yakireinu v'yitan lahem refuah shlema, refuat hanefesh or refuat haguf. May God, who blessed our ancestors, send the healing balm of blessing to our dear ones, who seek speedy healing of body, mind, and spirit. Grant them strength and faith to meet adversity with courage. O eternal God, watch over all of them, comfort them with your love, ease their pain, and bless those who care for them with compassion and skill. Grant them refuah shlema, complete healing speedily and soon, and let us say together, Amen. So we continue on page 215, offering up blessings for our government and its leaders and for the state of Israel. We pray for the welfare of our country and all those who hold positions of leadership and responsibility in our civic and national life. Let your blessing rest upon them, and may they always be responsive to your will, so that our nation will ever be to the world an example of justice, righteousness, and compassion. Inspire us to work for the well-being of all our fellow citizens. Imbue us with zeal for the cause of liberty in our own land and in all lands. Keep our country, our homes, and our loved ones safe from affliction, strife, and war, and let us say, Amen. We pray for the land of Israel and for its people. May its borders know peace and its inhabitants tranquility. May the bonds of faith and faith, which unite all Jews of all lands, be a source of strength to Israel and to us all. God of all lands and ages, answer our prayer and cause Zion once more to glow with divine light for us and for all the world. And let us say, Amen. As we continue in the middle of page 217, I invite you to please rise as we return our Torah to the ark.
Good afternoon, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all for coming to celebrate with me on this special occasion. It makes it all more memorable to know how far some of you have traveled just to be here with me and my family. I would like to talk to you about counting. We count many things in our lives, such as counting the populations of our towns, the pieces of gum in the pack, or the stars in the sky. Why is there so much counting, I ask? This week's Torah portion is counting the Israelites. The Hebrew name for this portion in this book of Torah is Bamidbar, which means in the desert. But in English, we call this book in the Torah Numbers. In this, the fourth book of Torah, God commanded Moses to count the Israelites 1 year and 2 months after they began wandering into the desert after leaving Egypt as slaves. There were 603,550 Israelite men over the age of 20. And this does not include all the women and children. One reason God counted all the Israelites is because He loves them and wanted to be sure no one was lost. God was concerned that the Israelites would eventually move away from the traditions of being Jewish. They needed to continue study, live, and pass Torah on to future generations. This is also an important lesson in that God wanted to count on the Israelites to make the world a better place. This includes me today, because as a bar mitzvah, I have to do a mitzvah project. A mitzvah is a commandment, which can also be a good deed. My mitzvah project is volunteering as a coach for the Challenger Baseball League. The Challenger League is a group of about 50 disabled kids. The reason I do this is because I enjoy helping and teaching them to play baseball. God counted on Moses to count all the Israelite men over 20. The Challenger kids count on me to help coach them. If I can't count on them showing up to play baseball, I couldn't help the Challenger kids if I couldn't count on them showing up to play baseball. Today, I turned 13 and become an bar mitzvah. This means that according to Jewish tradition, I am now held accountable for my actions. Also, I can differentiate right from wrong. Last, becoming a bar mitzvah to me means reaching the level of obligation and becoming more mature. It might seem weird that God counted the Israelites so many times, but you've probably counted stuff all the time, like money after Halloween. God needs the Israelites' full effort to make the world a better place. But as a bar mitzvah, God and all the people count on you. I would now like to thank some very important people in my life, because without their help, this day would not have been possible. First, I would like to thank Ken and Reinwald and Rabbi Cohen for helping me with the whole service. Ken, your jokes during my 30-minute lesson made it all more enjoyable for me. Also, it was funny how you wrote backwards during our lessons. Rabbi, thank you for all your guidance and helping me study the Torah. I think you have more energy and enthusiasm than anyone I have ever met. Next, I would like to thank Maura Rock, my Hebrew teacher. She was the greatest Hebrew teacher I have ever had. Last but not least, I would like to thank my family. Noah, if I didn't call you my little brother, I would call you my best friend. You have always been so supportive of me, and I truly appreciate it. Even though we sometimes fight, I love hanging out with you. Next, I would like to thank my mom and dad. Paul, thank you so much for helping organize this very special day for me. I know I can always count on you to be there for me. You are very loving, and whenever I am down, I will go to you to make me feel better. You are my #1 supporter whenever I am playing sports. I can count on you screaming louder than anyone in the stands. Although I tell you I was embarrassed when you scream, I like it inside. Thank you for guiding me this far. Dad, I know you have done so much work on this day when I become a bar mitzvah. I can't imagine how much time and effort it took to make this day run so smoothly. Thank you for always pushing me to perform my best in academics and sports. Although I tell you that your jokes are dumb, you're one of the funniest people I know. I can count on you to help me with academics if I'm struggling with a certain subject. Lastly, you and Mom are the greatest parents I could have ever asked for. In conclusion, just as God counted on the Israelites, we count on each other to make a better community. We are all held accountable for something in our lives, and this is what makes us try to be better people. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good afternoon and Shabbat Shalom. I know that Jacob's very concerned that Sarah and I are going to cry while we're up here. And it reminded me of a quick story I'd like to share with you. When Jacob was 5 years old, he raced BMX bicycles and competed in the U.S. Nationals in Bakersfield. We registered Jake to race Friday and Saturday and planned on going home after his race on Saturday. Friday night, Jacob won second place. He was really upset and crying with that outcome. Saturday morning, we packed up our truck, checked out of the hotel, and drove to the races. Jacob won third place. But again, he was devastated and furious and crying uncontrollably. He was pleading with us desperately, saying, "I want to race tomorrow. I want to race tomorrow." And I said to him, "Why do you want to race? It's going to be the same racers, and what if you don't win? Are you just going to cry again? This is not fun." Jake pleaded with us, "No, I won't cry. I just want to race. I promise I won't cry. I just want to race." So we're able to check back into our hotel room and register Jake for the Sunday race. As we were driving back to the hotel, I could see Jacob through my rearview mirror in his car seat in the back. And he looked at me with this very intense, serious look on his face and said, "You know, Dad, if I don't win, I am going to cry." So Jacob, you know, your mom and I are going to cry. Jacob, today, on your 13th birthday, you are a bar mitzvah, a turning point in your life. You are leaving being a child and are now becoming an adult. Words can't express how much your mother and I love you and how proud we are of you and the amount of joy you have brought to our family sharing this celebration with you today. You did an exceptional job leading the service, and your reading from the Torah was beautiful. Jacob, in your lifetime, you've already experienced and showed you can overcome adversity. Last year, you missed 3 months of both public and Hebrew school due to a serious respiratory illness. On our spring vacation, you worked for several hours each day on your schoolwork in an attempt to catch up. You also had to work harder on your Hebrew studies. Your mom and I know how much work that was, and we want you to know how proud of you we were for the amount of time and effort you put forth. I'm sure you would have preferred not spending so much of your vacation time doing schoolwork or having to work harder to catch up on your Hebrew. But being a man means to be counted. And to be counted means to be learned. Your Torah reading is Bamidbar, where God commands Moses to count the Israelites. Well, now as a bar mitzvah, Jacob, you too are counted. And counted on for your own conduct, and counted on to assume adult obligations. Your bar mitzvah is not just an event that is all over tomorrow morning. It is about a preparation for a lifetime as a Jewish adult. For your mitzvah project, you chose coaching a baseball team of kids with disabilities called the Challengers. I know how much you enjoy helping those kids at their games. I'm so proud of you and grateful for your understanding of giving back to the community and to those that may not be as fortunate as yourself. Jacob, you're an amazing kid. You're a gifted athlete, and you're really smart. But what makes us most proud of you is when your friends, or your teachers, Coach O'Sullivan, or the rabbi, or the cantor, tells us what a good kid you are, how polite and respectful you are. These types of comments speak to your character and who you really are as a person. Abraham Lincoln said, "Reputation is the shadow, character is the tree." Our character is much more than just what we try to display for others to see. It is who we are, even when no one is watching. Good character traits mean conducting yourself in a manner that is honorable, courageous, compassionate, and ethical, and are the most important values your mother and I can impress upon you for a happy, fulfilling life. Jacob, back in Bakersfield, you went back to that BMX race on Sunday and won first place. You had no business winning. It was your first nationals race. You were the only kid not riding a custom bicycle worth several $1,000s, and you were the only non-sponsored racer. After the race, one of the fathers asked me, "What gears were you running on that bike?" I said, "Whatever it came with off the shelf." What I was thinking was, the important thing was what was on top of the bike. And that happens to be my son. That's my son, Jacob. He's a fierce competitor with intense determination that will not be denied achieving whatever he sets out to do. Jacob, what you accomplished that weekend at such a young age really personifies who you are. If you approach all of life's challenges with the same passion and determination, you can achieve anything you put your mind to. Use these traits throughout your life constructively. Find your passion and pursue it. Make a difference in this world. Always be inspired to do good. Let your deeds, not your words, tell who you are and what you believe in. Congratulations, you did a great job. Mazel tov. You're ready.
I would like to thank all of you, some who have traveled so very far, for attending this significantly memorable occasion. Jacob, it is with great pride that your dad and I and all of our family and friends witnessed this momentous accomplishment here today. You did a wonderful job leading the service with such composure. I have seen, particularly over this past year, how much time and devotion you have given in preparation for becoming a bar mitzvah. I know it has been difficult juggling school, sports, Hebrew training, and the mitzvah project. I also understand how it can be challenging when most everyone in your local school and community is not Jewish. My brother Ben and I were the only Jewish children in our entire public school in Northern California. It is challenging to be different or unique at this tender age, or to confide in a friend when they don't share the same experiences you are going through. But you should realize that this is what helps build your character and forces you, in a way, to take a deeper look at yourself as an individual and the adult you are becoming. This great achievement should give you confidence that if you put your mind and heart into something, you can reach that goal with a wonderful sense of accomplishment. I have seen this drive and determination in you since you were an infant. Your stubborn tenacity is even more intense than your mother's, I must say. You could outcry any baby I've ever timed, and I've timed many babies in the newborn nursery back in residency. You can take apart anything and usually put it back together, such as when we were in Mammoth Mountain on a ski trip when you were little, maybe 6 or 7, staying in my partner's condo, and unbeknown to your father and I, you completely disassembled the stereo system. Thankfully, you were able to reassemble it to somewhat working condition. Although your father already spoke about this BMX race in Bakersfield, I would like to briefly share my experience because it taught me a lesson about your character. Obviously, we're both extremely moved by your passion and determination at that event. My recollection was that you begged us to take you to this race in Bakersfield to be able to camp out in the dirt all weekend so that you could participate in this bike race event. After the first few races, you realized there was a strong possibility you could take that first place if you stayed the final day on Sunday. Saturday night, after only several races, your father and I were completely burned out, dirty, overloaded, and just wanted to go home. But as your father says, you blew a brain and refused to get back into the car Saturday night to drive home. After much coaxing, we finally put you in your little booster seat and began to drive onto the dirt road. Suddenly, you pulled off your belt, opened the door, and you jumped out of the truck with this intense, extremely serious look, so fiercely determined to the point of despair if you couldn't have this experience. That was a pivotal point for me. I realized that regardless of the outcome, when you have that much passion or will to achieve a goal, I will never stand in your way when striving for or fulfilling your desires or dreams. It was a powerful moment, Jacob, and it seemed odd because you were so very young to be debating with us on a dirt road in the middle of nowhere. Obviously, we gave in and let you race. When you came home with that first place trophy, and even if you hadn't, I knew that from then on, whenever I saw that burning intensity in your eyes, that I should just step back, watch, and be proud. And today, Jacob, we are all so very proud of you. Now that you're growing into adulthood, I hope you will always be kind and lend a hand to those in need. Empathy is a difficult emotion to have during the preteen and teenage years. But when you chose your mitzvah project to be a coach for the developmentally challenged team at Tustin Western Little League, I saw that initially you were intimidated by the children's disabilities and the role you had to assume. And although it was difficult, you jumped in, took on the role as their coach and friend. The look on your face when you were helping the boys showed to me that you are indeed growing up by giving to others and helping our community. Jacob, other words to describe you are definitely an adrenaline junkie with unusual composure. I see how you love danger and dangerous activities during sporting events and other activities to your mother's dismay. But interestingly, when you perform these activities, you have a straight face showing absolutely no emotion. I remember 2 years ago, again while skiing, you informed us you were no longer going to ski. You were done and you would only snowboard. We explained that you were not allowed to switch over until you could ski to a certain level of performance. She then specifically asked which exact run you need to ski to prove you're ready to switch. You had that intense yet cool look in your eyes, so I knew we had to tell you the run. You looked up, you evaluated the run, and you told me you wanted to take that run that very moment. So I took you up there. Once you saw the rocks below us, I expected some animation, some look of fear or words of concern, but nothing, just flat, calm, and cool. You said in a matter-of-fact way with a subtle smile on your face, "Mom, we could die up here." But I know we really won't. I really, really like this. If you hadn't told me you liked it, I would have no idea. Complete poker face. Then you skied the run. At the bottom of the run, you told me with a serious, no-nonsense tone that you were done. You finished your end of the deal. No high fives, no screaming afterwards, but at the end of the day, you took those skis off, you threw them in the back of our truck, and you never skied again. Jacob, you will see, as you grow older, you'll experience many more opportunities and choices, and some are much more difficult to make than others. Use that drive and compassion and composure to aid you in weighing those choices and the consequences they will bring, because these choices will carve the path of your life. Your father and I will always be there to help guide you, but having become a bar mitzvah, you will now be held accountable for your actions and choices. My wish for you as a bar mitzvah is a life filled with joy, happiness, and fulfillment.
So, you sure you're done with that skiing thing? Because I've got a really great run called The Wall that I would so love to take you on. It is just our right speed, straight down. Okay, excellent. Oh, good, you said yes. All right, there we go. Snow mask. Okay, so, so Jacob, we are all so proud of you today. Not only your family and your friends who are here, but your entire congregational family as well. You see, because becoming a bar mitzvah is not just about becoming a bar mitzvah in front of your family and your friends, but in front of the Jewish community. And saying, I am a part of this community. I'm a very important part of this community. And us as a community, supporting and embracing you in this wonderful moment. So I'd like to call forward, representing our brotherhood, Sylvan Swartz, representing our board of directors, Cindy Grossberg, and representing our sisterhood, Sarah Schweitz, to please come forward. Stephen and Jacob, as the two of you, kind of on the spot if I might, come represent our youth group as well. Because I know I can always turn to my youth, because they absolutely just have this great way about them to do this. So it's good to be surrounded by all of your friends and also your congregational families. So hold on one sec. Excellent. Okay, perfect. All right, see you in a drink. Okay, stop that time. You ready? Here we go.
I have more to say. That's a hard act to follow. Jacob, I'm so happy to be here with you today. You led the congregation in a beautiful service. And if I want you to take a minute, and I want you to look around at all the people, all your grandparents, your cousins, aunts and uncles, others, family, friends, all over there, they're all smiling at you. They're all so proud of you. So right before the service, I asked your friends to give me one word that would describe you. And these are the adjectives: fun-loving, athletic, nice, funny, kind, respectful, outgoing, strong, encouraging, outstanding. One person said shy, which I don't see that. Energetic, playful, and friendly. Jacob, you are such a blessing. Blessing to your family, to your friends, and to your congregation. You're intelligent, kind, and considerate to everyone. Throughout this very special day, there will be lots of moments of blessing, both receiving and giving. And my hope is that you will remember all of these as you continue on your Jewish journey. On behalf of the Temple Board of Directors, hot off the press, our brand new High Holy Days prayer book. This is with the hope that you'll always. Oh, it's in your country. Sorry. I didn't write that down. In the hopes that you'll always find comfort and faith in words of prayer. And I have one more gift to bestow upon you. It's the greatest gift of all. It's the knowledge that you're rooted in this amazing Jewish community. We're always here to love you and to care about you and your family. So wherever life may take you, Jacob, please make sure that you're part of the Jewish community. But remember your Temple of Shalom family. You do a great job. Mazel tov.
Hi Jacob, Mazel tov, congratulations. It was my pleasure to hear you sing the Torah portion and the Torah portion, and I'm very proud. It's a special occasion. You work very, very hard. And we are very proud of you, the Temple of Shalom family. And today, as you told us, today is the first parasha of the book of Numbers. We did a lot of counting. They did a lot of counting of ancient Israelites. They did the census. And so I hope we can count on you in the future. I hope you make yourself proud, make your parents proud, your family, and the Temple of Shalom. I have no doubt you're blessed with intelligence and perseverance and persistence. And I hope you continue with the Jewish education. This is not the end. This is just, we close one chapter and we're going to start another. Okay? And for this momentous occasion, the women of Agudat Shalom, sisterhood, is giving you as a present the Yiddishkeit. He lives in good health every Shabbat. Take it with you when you graduate from high school to college, and then you continue using it for graduate school. And when you get your PhD, or whenever you go to medical school, whatever, use it in good health. My wish for you for the future is good health, happiness, prosperity, but most of all, shalom. As a
Hi Jacob, I'm Sylvan Swartz, I'm from the Brotherhood, and I want to congratulate you and say mazel tov to the entire family and your parents. You did a great job. We in the Brotherhood are very proud of you, I'll tell you that. And learning something about you today is very enlightening. We learned a lot about you today. So, the burning question from the Brotherhood is, can you play third base? Because we get challenged every year from other Brotherhoods, and we just don't have much of a team. We don't even have a team, in fact, so if you can work with those children, you might be able to work with the men of the Brotherhood. Maybe, but we really need you. So anyway, this today means that you can join the Brotherhood, in fact. You can bring your dad, you can be part of it, and maybe you play third base. Good, okay. So at any rate, this as a gift from us, for you to remember, it's a DACA box, which is really something for charity. It sounds like you know a lot about charity. And when I was bar mitzvah, I had one, and we used to put pennies and nickels in. Now you need to stuff it with checks. And some of the big bills, and get your dad up and running, for the big bills, and it's always save something to give away. I don't think I have to tell you that, because it sounds like you already know about giving of yourself. Maybe that's more important than just the money, but this will help you in your way. So give mazel tov and congratulations, and I'll give you a hug.
Yes, and right there. Huh? You can just sit right there. It's perfect. Excellent. So, Jacob, we have one more blessing to bestow upon you, so we will invite your parents to join Kendra Reinwald and myself over here at the Ark. We're going to invite everyone to please rise as we get to bestow our blessings upon as well. So, Jacob, here we are. In this space, we know that any space where we are together is holy space. Now, I don't know if you can even imagine, especially from the numbers that we read In the heart of the community memory was the tabernacle, each cabin. This great place to focus energy, to focus spirituality, to focus their own connections to God. So whether you were right up close to it, or whether you were all the way in the edge, didn't matter. You were right up against it. Because everyone was counted. You asked earlier, you said not only to literally count the people, but that there's an accounting of people. Parents said it to you this morning. You've heard others who have said it to you as well. We need to be able to count on you, that you are accountable for your actions. Jacob, you are. I've seen it. I've seen it in class. I've seen how you react and how you work with and how you interact. And not only your classmates, but also with the younger students as well. I know that you are accountable. I know that you are there embracing all and including all. You are truly accountable for all that you are, all that you are going to be. We are so proud of you. We're proud of you because you led us in worship. You read from Torah to Torah. You taught us. But most important of all, what I'm proud of is to see that you are accountable. That we count you. You count you today and always. And that is a blessing. So we offer you lessons that are going to be found soon in this book of Numbers of Living God. These lessons that pass on one generation to the next. And that you someday, you will pass on as well. In this moment, be present, be close to each time, be close to the center. We offer you these words of May God bless you and watch over you. God's light shine on you, in you, and through you. May God be gracious to you. Jacob, may you always feel God's presence around you. Always there to support you and inspire you. May God always give you a life that's filled with health, with happiness, and with peace. And let us say, Amen. In our prayer books once again for our concluding prayers. Excellent. We go to the back of our prayer books, Amen and Shabbat, page 407. We take moments now to remember those who are no longer with us. I invite you to think about those who are no longer here present with us, yet power of memory is truly precious. We count that memory. We count those who may not be here with us in body, but they are with us in spirit. That all of them should be remembered for blessing. And so, for all of our loved ones who are no longer here with us, for all of those who have given their lives up to Kiddush Hashem for the sanctification of God's holy name, and for all of those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we'll join together with Kaddish Tom on page 427 But if there's anyone here who's in the period of mourning of Shiva, Shloshim, or Shana, the first week, the first month, the first year of a loved one's passing, or you yourself are reciting Kaddish in the yard side to remember the anniversary of a loved one's passing, I invite you as I face in your direction, please share the names with us. For all of them, we join together, page 427, Kaddish Yato. Yitkadal Yitkadash Meraba, Bialma Dibra Kirte Biam Bichmapute, Bechayekon Yomekon Lechayekon Bet Israel, Bagalav Bizman Karib, Vimru Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabba Mubarak Le'elam Lomei Omaya, Yibarach Bishtabach Bipa'ar Bikramam Biknaseh, Vitadar, Vitaled, Vitalal, Shemain Kudashah, Brifu. Leila, Minko, Berkata, Shirata, Tush Berkata, Nekamata, Damiram, Yalma, Vimru, Amen. Yehe Shlama, Rabba, Bin Shemaya, Vechayim, Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Vimru, Amen. Osei Shalom, Roma, Huya, Sei Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Vimru, Amen. In the source of peace, send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us say together, Amen. I invite you to close your prayer books back to the front and like that. And Noah, I need your help. Can you come up here for just a second? Come here, we have a... Come up here. You're going to help me with this first close of the song. Okay? This is kind of a... You know this one very, very well. And so today is your brother's what? A dad. And also, now that does not happen all the time. That somebody actually becomes bar mitzvah on their birthday. So, I think we need to sing happy birthday to your brother. Shall we do it in Hebrew or English? You Okay, you ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jacob. Happy birthday to you. Okay, now we'll join in. Put your arms around somebody next to you. If you don't know who they are, say hello. Very good. Join together with our cousin song of Say Shalom.
Say Shalom Librama. Huya Say Shalom Aleinu. Ve'achol Yisrael. Ve'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'achol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'achol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'achol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'achol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'achol Yisrael.
One last thought before our closing blessing is that we have, we're going to join together with Kiddush and Motzi. It's out there, it's right outside there. So we're going to invite you to go out there. Please stack your prayer books on the table there. Not yet, though. Hang on. I'll tell you when it comes. It'll close without that. But we'll all go out there. We'll join together with Kiddush and Motzi in honor of Jacob becoming a bar mitzvah. And so I'm going to invite you to take a little cup of grape juice, but do not drink from it yet, because we're going to say the blessings together. And so we'll all gather right outside there. So now, Bruchim Atem B'Boechem, Bruchim Atem B'Tzeichem Yatav Yad Olam, blessed were you in coming into this place of worship. Blessed may we be as we go forward to a Shabbat of health, of happiness, and of peace. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Yeah, Gabrielle.
Bye-bye. Love you, sis. Love you, Narayan. Kisses. Come soon. So I talked him into keeping on the live stream, so stay a while. Thank you. Dad, the live stream's on. Say hi to Joel. Noah, say hi to yours and Joel and Narayan. Hey, Narayan, love you. I appreciate you doing this. It's great. Hi, Joe.
Good.
Hi. Joel's on the live.
Do I have a place to go? No, just you.
Yeah.
You got me, huh?
I asked him. Bye, Joe.
Mazel tov,
Talk to you
everybody.
later, Joe. Love you.
All around the corner. Still.